why I'm asking you to stand with President Trump, Carrie Lake, and the entire America First movement all across our country. I'm asking you to join us in battle as we fight to save the America we love and restore the principles that made America the greatest country in the history of mankind. We owe it not only to future generations, but to every single American that has shed blood for our country. From Lexington and Concord, to the beaches of Normandy, to the mountains of Afghanistan, to the deserts of Iraq. But most of all, we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to ourselves to be able to say that we answered our country's call in the darkest of hours. Arizona, are you ready to answer that call? Arizona, are you with me?
Yeah!
Are you with Carrie Lake?
Yeah!
And are you with President Donald Trump?
Yeah!
And we are with you now and forever. So this November, let's give them a November to remember. Thank you, Arizona. Thank you very much. And God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, when that senator I've been going very loud.
To the stage, Charlie Kirk.
All this off because we draw a bigger crowd than Kamala Harris, don't we? It feels so good to be around all of you. I was in Chicago this last week, so you didn't have to go there. We already defeated one presidential candidate, so we might as well now defeat another one. And what an honor, what a time to be alive in the most important election of our lifetime. I'm traveling the country, going to college campuses, we're organizing in the grassroots. We're talking to so many voters that know it is time for change. They know that something is wrong. They're tired of sending $200 billion overseas to Ukraine while we can't secure our southern border. They're tired of seeing our homeless vets while we prioritize foreigners that come into our country. By the way, what an insult to the legal immigrants in this country that we allow illegals to get luxury hotels who come on. They know that something is wrong. And many of you waited hours and hours in line. By the way, who here was waiting in line overnight? We saw that. It's unbelievable. 24 hours in line.
Woo!
Because you know you are part of something bigger than yourself. You know that you are part of the most exciting, diverse, powerful movement in the history of this country.
Yeah!
This movement is not about Republican or Democrat. This movement is not about conservative or liberal, and I think you're going to see that on display in a little bit.
Yeah!
This movement is about the citizens versus the oligarchs. This movement is about we the people versus the ruling class. This movement is about America versus the globalists. This movement is about all of us. election is coming in November. You can see it. They're terrified because they've lost control. They've lost control of the narrative. Today, we saw the next chapter being written. You understand you're living through history being here today. You see, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, and the Democrats, they say, vote for us, we won't prove your life, but keep on giving us power, because we're going to lie relentlessly. We will raid your home and put you in prison if you disagree. Their idea of democracy is installing a candidate that no one has voted for. And the old Democrat Party is dead. How many former Democrats do we have here tonight? Raise your hand. God bless you, God bless you, God bless you.
Woo! Woo!
Because the new Democrat Party is not about what they used to stand for. The new Democrat Party is about power. The new Democrat Party does not love the country the way that all of you do. And how amazing was it today to see Bobby Kennedy Jr. endorse Donald Trump?
Yeah! Charlie! Woo! Yeah!
You know, this has been a wild summer, everybody. Donald Trump was convicted in a show trial. We had the earliest debate ever. Donald Trump was shot, survived, and by 2 centimeters our country lived. We got a new candidate. And maybe most remarkable of all, a Kennedy has endorsed a Republican for the presidency. All the media they're scared because they're supposed to have a monopolistic control. You saw the DNC. Watch us and obey. Watch us and obey. We're a movement of free thinkers. We don't agree on everything. We have different opinions. That's why our movement is going to win. In the Democrat Party, they say disagreement is not allowed. They don't believe in free speech. They don't believe in the free discourse of ideas. I think it's a wonderful thing that we can say we might disagree on the small stuff, but we agree on the big stuff. We agree that we should prioritize American citizens over foreigners. We agree that it's a constitutional right that you should be able to speak, that the government should not be able to spy on us without a warrant. We agree that every human being is made in the image of God and deserves protection. We agree that the Founding Fathers were divinely inspired when they wrote the United States Constitution. The small stuff we can disagree on, but the differences are dramatic, and that is why we need to extend an olive branch. The Democrats in your life, the Democrats that still have a little bit of a free thinking. Now, I'm not talking about the Democrats that got the 9th booster shot and wore a mask while they showered. I'm not talking about those Democrats. I just spent a couple days with those Democrats in Chicago. They were bragging about how many booster shots they got while they were waiting in line. I'm not exaggerating. I'm talking about the Democrat right now that is working as an Uber driver. I'm talking about the registered Democrat that is working with their hands to serve you food, and they cannot afford groceries. And maybe the only interaction that they will have with our movement is when you say, "How you doing?" "Yeah, I can barely get by. I can barely get by." And you should say, "You know what? If you vote for Donald Trump, you're actually not going to be taxed on your tips."
Yeah! Woo!
This movement is growing and ascending because we all agree on the big stuff. We agree that the people are the sovereign in this country. And we've seen in the last 30 years the uniparty on full display. You know where the wealthiest counties in America are? They're all around Washington, D.C. 8 out of 10 of the wealthiest counties in America. So basically what they do is they tax you into oblivion. They make everything more expensive, and inflation is a tax, by the way. They take all of that money so that they can get richer and wealthier around the Kingdom of Washington, D.C. And what do they produce? All they produce is more regulations, rules, and customs, and wars that put you in more jeopardy. A $6 trillion budget while we have to close down our factories. And they thought they could get away with it. And this is why they fear the man we are here to support today. Because it's more than just that he supports the right things. It's that he had the brilliant and uniquely American idea to bring all of you in the room where the deals are negotiated. Where you get a seat at the table. And they hate that. They hate it. Because you're not supposed to be involved in this. You're supposed to just kind of be on the vote for me every 4 years, give me more political power, and stay out of my business. You're not supposed to be aware of what the spending bills are. You're not supposed to care that our communities are being overrun by people who were never invited here, that newcomers are squeezing our social safety net. And what has happened is we are seeing an explosion in citizen participation. And this rally, look around, this is incredible, is only a starting point. But what they will really fear, you know what the Democrats are going to be terrified? They're going to be terrified if every single person here makes a pledge and says, I'm going to go find 100 new voters and I'm going to go make sure they vote. We have nearly 16,000 people and thousands of people outside. Look at the final count. If everyone here just found 10 new voters, that would be 160,000 new voters here in the state of Arizona, nearly 16 times what the ballot shortage was in 2020. You want to make it too big to rig? Let me tell you the open secret of this event. This room can deliver the state of Arizona for Donald J.
Trump.
I'm going to go download the Turning Point Action app. I'm going to make sure that my brother, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, my aunt, my cousin, my Uber driver, my waiter, my waitress, are you registered to vote? Nah, it's a waste of time. No. I'm not asking you to storm the beaches of Normandy. I'm asking you to fill out a form, fill out a paper, put it in the mail. 5 minutes, and I better never hear you complain about inflation again if you don't fill out that ballot. October 2nd, which is tragically the anniversary of the terrible massacre in Israel, ballots go out in the state. Ballots are going to be scattered all across the state. What the Democrats do is they will deploy thousands of paid operatives to go find those ballots, to try to chase them and get them into the system. Now, I'm not here to try to change your method of voting if you want to go vote on election day. All for it, I get it. But I am going to say, the plumber, the electrician, the welder, for the person that's never voted before, we want them to hopefully try to vote early than not vote at all. For the people that never vote, it's a waste of time, it's whatever, say, hey, knock on their door. Can you get this piece of paper and put it in the mail? Or how about this? If we say that everything's going to work perfectly, remember what happened in 2022 when half of all the machines failed, and Kerry Lake should be governor of this state if all those machines actually work? So if you are looking for a way to get involved, if you say, Charlie, I can't take it anymore. I'm tired of being a spectator, I want to be a participant. We have to flood the zone. And remember that election day is the last day of voting, not the first day of voting. Think of it this way. Our supporters are so fired up to vote for Donald Trump. Shouldn't we give our movement more days, not less days, to go vote for the 47th President of the United States?
Yeah.
And how tragic it would be if we flood the polls on only one day, and the machines go down and we have 4-hour waiting lines, and the single mom that wants to vote for Donald Trump says, oh, that line is too bad, I bet Trump wins anyway, and we fall 10,000 votes short. If you are willing to wait 4 hours in line, God bless you, because many of you just waited 4 hours in line to come this round. But we have to think and remember, this movement expands to people that don't have the time, the capacity, the energy, or the spirit. I'm going to close with this. This election is the hardest I've ever worked towards a single objective in my life. We've done a lot of things at Turning Point, by the way. Largest high school program in the country, largest college program in the country, now the largest ballot chasing operation in the country, and thank you for all of you that have supported it. It's absolutely amazing. Donald Trump alone will not carry this election. Think about how much he's already done and how much he's been through. Though he's taken the entire country, he's put it on his back. Tried to take his business empire away from him, sue him, slander him, indict him. He has sentencing coming up in September. He's been shot. And let me just say one other thing on this. I believe that was the most witnessed televised miracle in history.
Yes! Woo!
And let's give God the glory. What will be the differentiator? Because the Democrats are already saying it's going to come down to a couple 100,000 votes there. Here's the difference maker. In 2020, we fell 41,000 ballots short. So I want you to think back to 2020 of what you didn't do. Of the door you didn't knock on. Of the friend you didn't test to get the ballot in. Of the friend that you didn't text. And then I want you to do that, and then I want you to double it. The difference maker is this: we will be outspent, the media will lie about our movement, they will lie about Donald Trump, but they can't control you. And they know it. There will be fake polls, there will be suppression polls. But this election will be a testament that the fighting spirit of the American people is alive and well. That we're willing to do the work, that the conservative grassroots are willing to go out in 106-degree weather and knock on the door of the single mom and say, let's get that ballot in, let's get that ballot in. You're going to keep on showing up until that ballot is in the mail. We have an amazing opportunity in front of us. It's not going to be easy. There will be ups and there will be downs. But I want you to remember this moment. I want you to be fired up and encouraged, because you are not alone. You have been gaslit these last 4 days watching the DNC. And today we put on full display the strength, the width, the depth of this incredible movement. I can tell you, looking at where this country is, and what would happen if Kamala Harris becomes president. Price controls, open borders, maybe we're all free. Thankfully, that's a new one. You're chanting crazy, crazy Kamala. It's a new one. I wouldn't expect anything different. It's a group of young conservative men. You know, young men are the most conservative in 50 years. Today is our 2-year-old's birthday. And I look at my daughter, and that is my why. For those that are parents, you know exactly what I mean. Knock on that extra door. Go that extra mile. Talk to that extra friend. Because throughout voting month and culminating on the 5th of November, I believe it will go down as a day that people remember. As a day that is written about in history books. As the final battle, from the golden escalator on down, from defeating Hillary Clinton, from the nonsense of 2020, from Butler, Pennsylvania, November 5th, it all culminates, where we restore the promise that the founders gave us. And they said, hey, if the people want it, the people get it. And we, the people, take back America.
Yes! Oh! Oh yeah, oh yeah. Woo, woo.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Carrie Lane.
Thank you guys so much. Hello, Arizona. Unbelievable. Look at this crowd. It's amazing. This is all the way up to the rafters, by the way.
Yeah.
And President Trump, we're going to blow his mind today. This is amazing.
Happy birthday. Woo! Oh my goodness. All the people. Where are they come from? Where they come from? All the people.
Speechless for the first time in my life. I'm speechless. The fake news media probably likes the thought of me being speechless. But I'm about to get wound up. Is that okay? We don't need to bus people in. We don't need free concerts. We're here because we love America. Oh, I think I want to speak to my old friends in the fake news because, you know, it's funny. They've been trying to say, specifically, that in Arizona, the MAGA movement is dying. Do me a favor. Let's let those guys back there in the fake news know that MAGA is alive and well in Arizona. actually pretty funny because they're saying that MAGA is dying, but you know what's dying right before our eyes? The fake news is dying in their propaganda. Native narratives, combined with their bogus polls and their attempt to take the oxygen out of this movement, there is no suppressing MAGA. You can't suppress us. So we're not going to let them take this amazing energy in this arena out. We've got to turn them off. Are you okay with that? Turn the TV off. Get rid of your subscriptions if you're still getting the newspaper, because it's not worth it. We need this energy for the next 2.5 months, and we can't let any of it die down. So, by the way, thank you for the beautiful happy birthday song. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It was 55 years ago. Thank you. But we got the rowdy ones over here. Oh man. Okay, 55 years ago, in the summer of '69, my mom, Sheila, delivered her 9th and final baby, yours truly. I wish that my mom and my dad were alive right now to see this. I really do. My mom was a nurse. My dad was a very successful head football coach. And I will tell you this, speaking of football coaches, we've heard a lot about them lately. Coach Larry Lake supplied the young men that he was coaching with helmets and shoulder pads. Unlike this assistant coach, Tim Walls, who supplied his young men with tampons and maxi pads. That is the most absurd and twisted thing I've ever heard. I do know though, if my parents were alive today, they would be right up here in the front row, right by my daughter. And they would be cheering me on with a MAGA hat and a Carrie Lake for U.S. Senate t-shirt to help celebrate my birthday. I really know that. So today I am officially, once again, 29 years old. But I somehow have 55 years of experience under my belt. No, but really, in all seriousness, there's no place I would rather be than right here with all of you on this day. And with the greatest president in the history of this country, Donald J. I'm worried we're going to wear out our energy. We got to save some of this because the man you're here to see is coming up next. So I have to tell you a story, okay? This is actually the second birthday that I have spent with President Trump. On this day 3 years ago, I spent my 52nd birthday in New York City. Now, of course, I'd met President Trump before. In my previous life, when I was working in the news, I had the privilege of interviewing President Trump when I was one of the last remaining fair and honest journalists. But this time, a few years ago, I got to connect with him for the first time in my new life in politics, and it was an experience I'll never forget. I was at Trump Tower. I took that famous golden escalator up. I hopped onto a golden elevator and shot up to the 26th floor of the beautiful Trump Tower in Manhattan. And as I was looking out on that skyline, much of which, contrary to a well-known politician who said you didn't build that, Donald Trump had indeed built that. A big part of the skyline of New York. And I thought to myself, so is this what Frank Sinatra sang about in New York, New York? This was Trump Tower, this was New York City. If we could make it there, you can make it anywhere. Jeff and I were there, we were led into his office, and behind a large, beautiful desk sat a larger-than-life Donald J. Trump. He welcomed us, He welcomed us and immediately we launched into a recap, and he remembered a recap of a Turning Point event that we both attended about a month earlier. And he talked about the huge, loud, incredible, warm applause that I had received when he called out my name from you, the people of Arizona. And he said to me, I'll never forget it. He said, Carrie, that wasn't a poll that you hire a pollster to do. That was a real poll. That was the people telling me who they support. Right? And then he began asking a few questions about how the campaign was going, polling, about policy. And I'll be honest, I was able to answer all of them with no problem, except one. A very important question that took Jeff and me completely off guard. And my husband, I don't know where he is. Are you out here, Jeff, somewhere? Come here, hon. Say hi to Jeff, please. Do you remember what the president asked us?
He asked us how long we've been married.
That's what stumped us. Jeff forgot. And to Jeff's benefit, I also forgot. No, you know, we turned to each other and we started counting and doing the math, and we came up with the figure 23 years. So we'll never get that wrong again, will we? I love you. I love this man. 3 weeks ago, Jeff and I celebrated our 26th anniversary. It feels like the first year, doesn't it? So let me get through the story. So what was supposed to be a 15-minute meeting had turned into an hour-long conversation with Donald Trump. At the end of it all, the president rose, he shook our hands, he told me he would support me and endorse me. It was the greatest birthday gift I'd ever received. Really great. So, long story long, I spent my 52nd birthday in New York City with the greatest president. I'm spending my 55th birthday here in Glendale with all of you and the greatest president. In Arizona, I look forward to spending my 56th birthday in Washington, D.C. with the greatest president representing you. Decades ago, like many of you, on my 18th birthday, I registered as a Republican, inspired by a man named President Ronald Reagan, whose very powerful words still guide us. I think one of his most famous speeches, he said, "You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness." That speech was called A Time for Choosing. And that's exactly where we stand at this moment. We're at a crossroads and we have a choice right now. We either save this country and our best days are ahead of us, or we plunge into 1,000 years of darkness. Guys, we're gonna save this country! Ronald Reagan spoke those words on behalf, did you know this? He spoke those words on behalf of Arizona's favorite son, Senator Barry Goldwater, a man whose Senate seat I would be honored to fill. I really would. The media, you know, back then the media called him extreme, the media called Reagan extreme, they called Trump extreme, they called me extreme, and they call each and every one of you extreme. Because we are onto their corrupt system. Can you imagine calling a middle-aged mom like me a far-right extremist? She said, "We love it." You know what? So far, I have been right about everything. And the only extreme thing about us and me is that I'm extremely worried about my children's future. Yeah. I'm extremely worried about what my opponent, Ruben Gallego, will do to the state that we love. I'm running against the most radical man to ever run for office in Arizona history. Have you seen Ruben's commercials? Honestly, they should come with a laugh track because they are an absolute joke. They really are. For a decade in Congress, this man was a card-carrying member of the Progressive Caucus, a man actually to the left of Bernie Sanders and to the left of the Squad. And now he's bombarding our airwaves with ads meant to make him look like a cross between Mr. Rogers and G.I. Joe. When in reality, he's just Nancy Pelosi with a scruffy beard. Now guys, if you don't mind it, I'm about to lay out some hard truths about my opponent, Ruben Gallego. And I'm not telling you this to be mean, I'm really not. I'm telling you this because the people have got to know before they vote who this guy is. His ads leave out a whole lot of despicable treatment of women. His ads don't tell you that about the time that he harassed and threatened a 20-year-old female intern. When she complained about it, she was fired. His ads don't tell you about the fact that his fellow Democrats down at the state legislature gave him the nickname the Troll because of how creepy and degrading he was with women. And his ads don't tell you about the time he told a Latina woman that because she was a Republican, she wasn't a real Latina. Can I hear it for our incredible conservative Latina women? We got a house full. Including my daughter right down there. His ads don't tell you, frankly, about the most unforgivable act against a woman. When he walked out on his pregnant wife, when she was 9 months pregnant, days before she delivered their firstborn child, he served her papers and he ran off to sleep with a DC lobbyist. That's despicable. I can promise you, if Ruben Gallego will abandon his family to jump in bed with a lobbyist, he will abandon Arizona in favor of DC lobbyists every single vote. If his treatment of women isn't enough to keep him out of the U.S. Senate, then his voting record ought to be. I want to talk about his votes. He supports open borders. He told donors, this is actually shocking, he told donors when it comes to the border, it's not his expertise. He called the border wall, which is keeping us safe in some areas, dumb and stupid. And he voted against the SAVE Act. That means he wants millions of illegals to vote in this upcoming November election. Bad idea, Ruben. He voted for sanctuary cities. He supports amnesty. He's weak on law and order. I don't even think he likes our police officers. He actually called them the bad guys. He did. The direct quote, in case the media wants to, fact check me, he said the bad guys are the ones behind the police line. How dare you, Ruben? How dare you? He marched and defunded the police rallies, and then he threatened ICE agents. He's weak on the economy. He voted for legislation that resulted in this 40-year high inflation. That's why we can't afford anything. And when it came to the very short period of time that he worked in the private sector, he was a director for a bank that built immigrant families out of their life savings. And another company he worked for, under federal investigation during Ruben's time for Medicare fraud. Guys, I'm telling you all this because the fake news media won't cover him. Let me tell you, if I had one of those digs against me, they would be all up, all over it, and they won't cover it. If Ruben Gallego is willing to defraud Medicare, he's willing to cut Medicare. He ripped off our seniors before, he will do it again. I want you to know when it comes to Medicare and Social Security, our seniors paid into it, and they lived up to their end of the deal. Uncle Sam needs to live up to his end of the deal. Let me be perfectly clear, when I'm in the U.S. Senate, any politician that tries to lay a finger on your Medicare or your Social Security will have to go through me. And worse yet, they're gonna...
We will never give up. We will never stop fighting for our country, our flag, and our freedom.
There is no bulldozer strong enough to remove the legacy that he has built.
I will never stop fighting.
He's ready to go face the cameras. Cannot swim.
very much, and a very big hello, Arizona. I'm thrilled to be back in this incredible state with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots as we grow. 74 days from now, can you imagine? 74 days. Then we gently move into that beautiful White House and we take over our
country and we make it great again. We're going to win Arizona. We're going to defeat Comrade Kamala Harris. And we're going to win back our beautiful White House. We're going to win it back. We're going to win it back in record force. Everyone here tonight is part of the greatest political movement in the history of our country. You know, this is the greatest political movement. It's called Make America Great Again. And it's right now bigger and better and stronger than it ever was before. You know, we won in 2016 and we did much better in 2020. A lot of people don't understand that, but we understand it. Millions and millions more votes. But those two are nothing like the spirit that we have now. It's amazing. That's because we've seen how bad government can be. That's why it's combinations of a lot of things. But the job they've done in destroying our country is unbelievable, and people have seen it. And because of that, there's never been anything like this. Right, Carrie? Right? Our movement is not about Democrat versus Republican. It's about patriotism and common sense. Have a common sense with a party of common sense. You say what you want. Nice to say conservative, but really, with a party of common sense. We want fair elections, free elections. We want strong borders. We want a great military. We want great education. We want a nice school and low interest rates and no taxes and no regulations. That's why we're welcoming support from millions and millions of disaffected Democrats, and they are joining like wildfire. Now it's a little different than it was. You know, we had somebody, I was up 18 points, and they said, Joe, you can't win, you're getting out of the race. No, I want to go and give it a shot. No, Joe, you're getting out of the race, Joe. And if you don't do it the nice way, we'll do it the tough way, Joe. And he said, okay, and now I have a new opponent. This never happened before. We spent $100 million and a lot of time on defeating him. And as soon as he was gonzo, it all started with the debate. The debate. All that time, all that effort. A friend of mine said, you did a terrible job in the debate. I said, why do you say that? Everybody said I was brilliant. He said, no, you got him out of the race with that debate. All right. We have to do what we have to do, right? We have to do what we have to do. And now we have somebody that in theory should be easier to beat. In theory, because she's a radical left Marxist and everybody knows it. But we're welcoming the support from millions of disaffected Democrats, independents, moderates, old-fashioned liberals who still believe in things like, little things like borders. I was there yesterday. That's a scary place. Sir, it's about time that you get out of the sun, sir. We're going to have to get you out of here, sir. Let's get the hell out of here. She was the border czar. She presided over the worst border in history. Not American history, world history. Democracy, liberty, and of course, always the right of free speech. We don't really have free speech right now. The press, look at all of them. Look at all of them. That's a lot of fake news. That's a hell of a lot of fake news. The president! God forever is the old Democratic Party of FDR, JFK, and that's right, even Bill Clinton. Kamala Harris's Democrat Party is the party of free health care for illegal aliens, communist-style price controls, defund the police. All her life she wants to defund the police. A little while ago she changed, didn't she, huh? Banning gas-powered cars and sex changes for minor children without parental consent. How about that? How would you like that? Without parental consent, can you imagine your kid comes home without parental consent? What happened to my baby? What happened? The true divide in American politics today is between these far-left fascists, led by Harris and her group, and you know who her group is, and citizens of all political backgrounds who love our country, share traditional American values, the values that you have right here in this great state, and look past our differences to unite around a thing called our great American flag. And we should...
Whoa! American flag!
We should speak to our great congressmen and congresswomen. They ought to make it illegal to burn the American flag.
Yes!
You burn the American flag, because in Chicago at the Democrat deal, they were burning flags all over the place. You burn the American flag. They say it's unconstitutional to do that. I think it's constitutional. You burn the American flag, you go to jail for 1 year. No,
Yes!
you burn it.
Flag! 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 We are flag!
Our opponents worship the deep state. We want to obliterate the deep state. Slight difference. Our opponents, thank you. Our opponents join with warmongers and neocons to wage endless wars. These wars that never end. We don't even know who the hell the country is that we're fighting. We believe that America is strongest when America is at peace. We want peace through strength. That's what we want. Like we had 4 years ago. We didn't have any wars. Except we wiped out ISIS very quickly. It was supposed to take 5 years to beat ISIS. I did it in 3 weeks. They support coercive COVID vaccine mandates and want to fire you. If you don't obey, you get fired. We oppose these mandates as a fundamental violation of our God-given rights. We don't want the mandates. We don't want the mandates. They want to arrest their political opponents and silence those who disagree. We reject censorship in all forms, and we believe in freedom, open debate, and fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law. Our opponents slander us as a threat to democracy. Trump is a threat to democracy. No, they're a threat to democracy. How many times have you heard, it's a talking point for them, right, Deb? It's a talking point. Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. Well, those guys say it too, because they're the same thing. They're like a part. They're a subsidiary of the Democrat Party. Meanwhile, they rig their primaries. They force out Joe Biden. They force him out of the party. Joe Biden got 14 million votes in an unconstitutional coup, and they appoint a nominee who never got a single vote. And when she ran against this guy, and I'm no fan, he was the worst president in the history of our country, he let in millions and millions of people through her. Let in millions of people would destroy our country. But we're going to get those people out, the people that came in here from jails and prisons and mentals. But they threw them out. They ran against each other for the primary, and she never even made it into the first state, the great state of Iowa. Never made it. And now she's the one running. It's a little strange, isn't it? You see, that's really a threat to democracy if you get right down to it. In our movement, we know that democracy does not mean rule by the Democrat establishment. It means rule by the American people. Tonight, I'm very pleased to welcome a man who has been an incredible champion for so many of these values that we all share, and we've shared them for a long time. I don't think too many of you people have heard of him. He's very low-key. He's a very low-key person, and he's highly respected. He is a great person. I've known him for so long. For the past 16 months, Robert F. Kennedy. Bobby has run an extraordinary campaign for President of the United States. I know, because he also went after me a couple of times. I didn't like it. And I mean this sincerely. Had he been allowed to enter the Democrat primary, he would have easily beaten Joe Biden, but they wouldn't let him. They put up rules. I've never seen rules like that. Have 65% of the vote in order to run, little things like that. His candidacy has inspired millions and millions of Americans, raised critical issues that have been too long ignored in this country, and brought together people from across the political spectrum in a positive campaign grounded in the American values of his father, Robert Kennedy, a great man. And I know that they are looking down right now, and they are very, very proud of Bobby. I'm proud of Bobby, you want to know that? And I don't think I've ever introduced anyone that got applause like he just got. I must have. I don't think it's true. Soon after I was, can't even believe I have to say this, nearly assassinated in Pennsylvania last month, Bobby called me to express his best wishes. He knows firsthand the risks incurred by leaders who stand up to the corrupt political establishment. When you stand up, you bring on some trouble for yourself, but you have to do what's right. You have to do what's right for the country. I will tell you, we are both in this to do what's right for the country. That's what we do. He lost his father and uncle in service to our country, and Bobby himself was subject to repeated threats to his safety during the course of his campaign, while being denied protection by the Harris-Biden administration. And this is a tribute in honor of Bobby. I am announcing tonight that upon my election, I will establish a new independent presidential commission on assassination attempts. And they will be tasked with releasing all of the remaining documents pertaining to the assassination of President And they will also conduct a rigorous review of the attack last month. But I tell you, I have never had more people ask me, please, sir, release the documents on the Kennedy assassination. I also want to salute Bobby's decades of work as an advocate for the health of our families and our children. Nobody's done more. Millions and millions of Americans who want clean air, clean water, and a healthy nation have concerns about toxins in our environment and pesticides in our food. That's why today I'm repeating my pledge to establish a panel of top experts working with Bobby to investigate what is causing the decades-long increase in chronic health problems. We want every child in America to grow up and to live a long and healthy life. So I just want to ask Bobby to speak for a little while. I'll stand aside. I'm going to stand aside. But I can only tell you, I've known him a long time. We've been a little bit on the opposite side of the equation, but I will say this, he is a brilliant, I still think of him as young. He's not that young. I always call him young, but he's not that young. But he is a phenomenal person, a phenomenal man who loves the people of this country as much as anybody can love the people of this country. So Bobby, please say a few words. Thank you.
A few hours after his assassination attempt at Butler, I got a call from a safe food advocate named Kelly Means, who's been fighting for many years to try to end the corruption at CDC and FDA and USDA. These institutions, these regulatory agencies are actually run by the big food processing companies, the big ag and the chemical companies that they're supposed to regulate. And he said to me that he'd been advising me for many years on my campaign. And he told me that night that he was also advising President Trump. And he asked if I would talk to President Trump. I said, of course. And about a few minutes later, I got a call from the president. And we talked, we had a very good talk. And then he invited me to come see him the next day. And I went to Minneapolis and saw him. We met again a couple of weeks later in Florida. And we talked about, not about the things that separate us because we don't agree on everything, but on the values and the issues that bind us together. And one of the issues that he talked about was having safe food and ending the chronic disease epidemic.
The president! Yeah! Woo!
Our children are unhealthiest, sickest children in the world. Don't you want healthy children?
Yeah!
Don't you want the chemicals out of our food? Don't you want the regulatory agencies to be free from corporate corruption? And that's what President Trump told me that he wanted. He also told me that he wanted to end the grip of the neocons on U.S. foreign policy. He didn't want any more $200 billion wars in Ukraine, that we could use that money back here in the United States.
Yeah!
And the safest, the best way to build a safe America is to rebuild our industrial base and rebuild the middle class in this country.
Yeah!
President who's going to get us out of the wars and who's going to rebuild the country.
Yeah! Woo! Woo! No! Woo! Woo!
He told me that he wanted to end the censorship because the whole basis of American democracy is the free flow of information. And we know that a government that can silence its opponents has license for any kind of atrocity. And can you think of any time that you can look back in history and say that the people who were censoring were the good guys? No! They're always the bad guys.
Yeah!
Because it's always the first step down that slippery slope to totalitarianism. president who's going to protect America's freedoms.
Woo! Yeah! Freedom!
He's going to protect us against totalitarianism. And I want to ask you again, don't you want a safe environment for your children? Don't you want to know that the food that you're feeding them is not filled with chemicals that are going to give them cancer?
Yeah! Woo!
Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Wow, that was something, huh? Fantastic guy. You know, he did well, and the polls are good and all, but you have to remember we have sort of like a two-party system. It was designed that way, and it's awfully tough. And as well as he did, he'd be at 10 and 15 and 16 points sometimes. That's a lot. That's a lot. But if he were in a regular system, like as a Democrat or perhaps as a Republican, but not against me, of course. If he were in a regular system, there are a lot of people that maybe liked him the best, but they said we can't vote. So with all of those votes he was getting, here's a lot of votes that he could have gotten. I think he's going to have a huge influence. We're leading now, but I think he's going to have a huge influence in this campaign. Actually much bigger than you'd see in the polls, and those numbers are big to start off with, but Bobby and I will fight together to defeat the corrupt political establishment and return control of this country to the people. For all who supported Bobby's campaign, I very simply ask you join us in building this coalition. It's a beautiful coalition in defense of liberty and safety, prosperity and peace. It's going to be an incredible coalition, and the relationship has been so good for so long. I have no doubt it's going to work and work well. But we have to win. We have to take our country away from these people that are going to destroy our country. We won't have a country left. So thank you very much. We need your vote. As you all know, this week the Democrats held their convention. You probably saw it, their party. The media says the big message from their convention was that we need to turn the page from the failures of the last 4 years. Do you believe it? They forgot. They've run it for the last 4 years. He was saying last night, we will stop the abuse, we will stop the high taxes. I said, then you could have done it 3.5 years ago. In fact, you could leave that auditorium that you're in and go to the White House right now. You want to have a strong border? All you have to do is say to the incredible Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement, close the border now. You don't need bills. I love that, John. Put it up. But
Whoa! Yeah! Woo! Yeah!
everybody realizes that that chart is very meaningful. even beyond the numbers that are on the chart, it shows the least numbers of illegal immigrants pouring into our country. Again, prisons from mental institutions, terrorism, where the bottom arrow is. But you know what? That chart is meaningful in many ways. Some people understand what I'm talking about. I love you guys. I'm going to sleep on that chart. But isn't that a beautiful sight? Look at that arrow. And then look what happens when that was my last week in office. And look what happens after I left. It's like a rocket ship. Look at that. Isn't that terrible? No vetting, no checking. We have no idea who they are. They just pour into our country by the millions and millions and millions. We need to turn the page of 4 years of calamity and failure. They have had calamity and failure, and say, Kamala, you've done a horrible job. You've been the worst vice president. She's the only person ever to get a nomination of a party without getting one vote. She didn't get one vote. Hey, maybe she's smarter than we think. You know, you could look at it that way. As Vice President, Kamala cast the deciding votes, causing the worst inflation in decades, costing the typical American household $28,000. Think of this, higher prices. It was inflation, $28,000. As border czar, she flooded America with savage illegal alien criminals who have been raping, pillaging, and killing our cities and our towns. 3 years ago this week, she was the final vote on the catastrophic Afghanistan withdrawal. And we were withdrawing, but we were going to withdraw with dignity, with grace, and with strength. We would have been out faster, but we were going to keep Bagram. But that was the most embarrassing event in the history of our country, leading to horrific war and humiliation all over the world. When Putin saw that, he invaded Ukraine. It brought a lot of people back because they said the United States is run by incompetent people. The United States is no longer respected. It's no longer strong. That's what they said. A lot of these things that you're seeing now wouldn't have happened except for the horrible, horrible event of Afghanistan. You know, I was dealing with the leader of Afghanistan, Abdul, and I said, Abdul, you can't kill our people. He was killing our people. I had a strong talk with him. I'm not going to get into it exactly. We went 18 months without one soldier being sniped at or shot at. Not one soldier injured or killed. And then we had a tremendous election where we did probably 10 or 12 million more votes than we got the first time. You know, most presidents don't get as many votes the second time because people get bored, but they don't get bored with me. They get bored. Like Barack Hussein Obama got far fewer votes the second time, and he won. He won. Have you heard of him? Barack Hussein Obama. Remember Rush Limbaugh? Barack Hussein Obama. He was nasty to me. You know, he was nasty. Michelle was nasty. They were all nasty. They were very. I was surprised. I thought he was, and I was sort of nice to him. I said, no, you know, I like him. Good. It didn't matter. They were nasty to me, and of course, last night, Kamala mentioned my name, I think 21 times. She didn't mention the border. She didn't mention inflation. She didn't mention anything but my name over and over and over again. She blamed me for the border. I haven't been there in 4 years. I think you saw it. I had the safest border, the best border we've ever had. She blamed me for the border. They lied so much. They lied about everything. She said I was involved with something called Project 25. I don't even know what the hell it is. No, they really were nasty. And then they say to me, sir, please stick to policy. Don't stick to personality. You should be nice to people, sir. You have to be nice. I call them up. My geniuses, they get paid a fortune. Actually, not that much. But I call up my people. They say they're knocking the hell out of me, and you say I shouldn't get personal. I have to get personal, don't I? They get personal. But I'm going to do my best. So they're allowed to get personal with me, but I'm not allowed to get personal. Get personal! They call me names that are so bad. Our great First Lady says, but you're not that way, darling. They love our great First Lady, I will tell you. No! But darling, you're not that way. I said, I know that. And if I say something just slightly out of order, like, she didn't do a very good job last night. Please never ever mention look or anything like that. If you ever say, she didn't look really great, that's the end of your political career, so I wouldn't say. How about her opening where she said, thank you, 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 thank you. Let's go, she's a winner. Is that Sheriff Joe? Wow! Woo! You know, Sheriff Joe's looking at these clowns where they have no idea what they're doing, where people come in by the millions. He had nobody come in. Remember, he dressed everybody in pink. Is that right, Joe? They had to dress in pink. I mean, it wasn't the worst thing. It wasn't bad. I mean, you know, you got a lot of killers at it. But pink underwear, pink undershirt, and a pink outfit. Because he didn't want them coming into our country. Do you remember Arizona when Sheriff Joe was at the border? You didn't have people coming in. I think for the 1 year he had one person come in, but they got him. Now we have 3 million people coming in through your border. Oh, through the whole thing, it's ridiculous. It's not. Joe, it's an honor, and I'll tell you, people didn't treat you right. You are a legend, and you did a job. And we love your wife. He lost his wife a few years ago, and she was a hell of a woman, right, Joe? But she's looking down at you, and she's proud of you. She said, you did very well with this group of people. But I've known you for a long time, and there was nobody like him. He understood the border better than anybody. Ran it fairly, very fair, but he ran it strong, and they respected him. They didn't even try. So thank you very much, Joe. Your wife she's proud of you. Very proud of you. We're grateful to be joined tonight by the founder of Turning Point Action, a gentleman named Charlie Kirk. Thank you, Charlie. This guy is a freaking loser. He's a loser. So, look, Gary, we love you, especially. Since Democrats didn't talk about Kamala's horrendous record last night, we will. For nearly 4 years, Comrade Kamala Harris. I use that term, I don't know if it's good. Is it good or not, Tom? Let's do a poll. I love these people. Instead of spending $250,000 to a pollster that doesn't even poll, you know what they do? They take your money and they say, let's see, all right, 49 to 50. Well, it's one of the greatest businesses in history. I get a free poll here. Do you like the name? She's a radical left lunatic. Okay? She's a defunder of the police. She wants to defund all the things that we talk about. Do I call her Comrade Kamala Harris or do I not? Ready? What do I do there? You tell me. You can tell me better than anybody. Okay, ready? I'll say yes or no. Yes. Comrade Kamala Harris. This is a nation-wrecking. It's an invasion. You know, one of the ways I built hundreds of miles of wall. I was there yesterday. I looked up and down. I said, man, I built a lot of wall. And we could have put up 200 miles more, but they didn't want to do it. And that's when I said, you know, I think they really want open borders. But we built much more wall than I said I was going to build. And you couldn't see the end of it yesterday. You couldn't see the end. We had a news conference, but it's a dangerous area. It's a dangerous area because of her, because of him, but he put her in charge, you know, whether she's borders are, and that's what she was called. Only recently did she say she doesn't have that. But you know what? She has been the worst manager, and the Border Patrol never even said, they never even met her. She's in charge of it, they never even met her. And you suffered the price. She's allowed at least 20 million illegal aliens into our country, including millions and millions of unvetted fighting-age men from 159 countries. You know, it's no longer just South America. They come from Africa, the Congo. They come from, a lot of coming from jails in the Congo. Let me tell you, these people, the nice thing, they make our criminals look like the nicest people on earth. From areas that we're fighting, they come from enemy terrain, they come from all over the world, and they do from South America. 159 different countries in the last year, and they're totally unchecked and unvetted. Every single year she's been in office, she has set an all-time high illegal border crossings record, triple and quadruple what the year before, where I'd have like 150,000 and she'd have 2.5 million. What she has done to this country, nobody can tell you. You know, she destroyed San Francisco as the district attorney. She destroyed California, you know that, this is a woman that's going to take, she destroyed California. She had a policy, if you steal less than $950, you're allowed to keep it. You can go, we're not going to prosecute. So criminals are walking into stores, mean, nasty guys, rough guys, and they take calculators and they calculate, let's say I want to get up, they walk out, then they walk back in. The whole thing, this is who we're going to have running our country? I don't think so. And nobody lies like her, she's a liar, she makes up crap. She's the one going to raise, you know, she said, Donald Trump is going to raise, you know why? She said I was going to raise, because I'm going to put tariffs on other countries coming into our country. And that has nothing to do with taxes to us. That's a tax on another country. And I did it with China, and we had no inflation. You know, I had no inflation. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China, and not one other president took in 10 cents. They were all, oh, China, we're afraid of China. We're afraid of China. According to a new DHS report, Kamala Harris also lost, and this is impossible to believe. Listen to this.
325,000 migrant children are gone. They're missing. She allowed them to be trafficked into our country. Many of these children are now in sex slavery or they're dead, probably mostly dead. They will never see their homes or their parents again. They were swiped out of their homes. They were taken out of their homes. 300, this is a government number, 325,000 children. Sex slaves or they're dead. Many are dead. Hamas has so little respect for Kamala and Joe Biden, crooked Joe Biden, that the hostages that they're talking about all the time, I believe they're largely gone. I believe they're largely gone. So sad. When you look at what happened, when you look at that attack on October 7th, I believe they're gone. And the reason they're not negotiating, it says Hamas has decided not to negotiate because what they want back are the hostages. And I think those hostages, for the most part, aren't around anymore. And so they said, oh boy, we can't really negotiate because we don't have the hostages. The hostages are largely gone. How sad, how terribly sad. If they feared and respected Joe Biden and Kamala, they would never have killed those hostages. They would have never attacked. They would never have attacked when I was president. Iran was broke. Iran was broke. I told China, if you spend any money on buying oil from Iran, you'll never do business in the United States again. And we're going to put a tooth in it. And Iran was broke, and they had no money for Hamas, and they had no money for Hezbollah. You can check the numbers, look at it. When my last year, they had no money. We had no terrorism. For 4 years, I didn't have any terrorism. Do you notice that? None. And when they asked Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, very strong guy, what is the reason that things are so bad now? The Middle East is blowing up. Russia's blowing up with Ukraine. There's war starting all over the place. It looks like bad things could happen in Taiwan with China. What's the reason? He says, you got to get Donald Trump back as president. You won't have any. They respected your country. They respected your leader, but they respected our country. Now they laugh at our country. Our country has become a joke. She's provided deportation immunity to the vast majority of criminal aliens living inside the United States and is importing MS-13 gang members, known as the most violent gang of them all, into our cities and into our high school. Think of it, they're coming into our high schools. Kamala has set loose thousands of Venezuelan gang members who, according to law enforcement bulletins, have been given a license to shoot American police officers. You know that, right? Under Harris, ICE deportations are at the lowest level in history, the history of our country. She supports deadly sanctuary cities. Now, of course, she's flip-flopping on everything. You do know that, right? You know that, Joe? She's flip-flopping on everything. Debbie, right? She's a flip-flopper. Andy, she's a flip-flopper. She flip-flops on everything. Because she was poor. She said she didn't do too well. That's probably why she was the first out of 22 people. I can't get over it. She was the first failure. And now she's running. Oh, we're going to beat her. I look forward to the debate, too.
Whoa!
She called for abolishing ICE. These are great patriots who are tough as hell. You need tough people. She's compared ICE agents to the KKK. She wants to repeal the federal law that makes illegal immigration a crime, making illegal immigration totally illegal. It's okay to come into our country. She wants to release all of the thousands of criminal illegal aliens that are locked up in detention centers, and these are the toughest of them all. She wants to release them into our country. We have detention centers for the toughest of them all. She says, we're going to release them. Now maybe they'll ask her tonight, oh no, I would never do that. She might change. She'd change it and everything. But don't forget, if the election ever went haywire, if they can find a way to cheat enough, and she wins, in quotes, she wins, She's going to do everything that you wouldn't dream of, including no fracking. She didn't discuss fracking last night. No fracking in Pennsylvania. I can't imagine she can do well in Pennsylvania. 500,000 jobs are involved with fracking, and a huge amount of their budget, everything's involved with fracking, and she's against it. In her speech last night, she lied about almost everything. She lied when she said, I was going to raise taxes. No, I'm lowering taxes. She's the one. She lied and said that, oh, this is the best. I'm going to be the one, and I was already there. I didn't touch your Social Security, and a lot of Democrats wanted me to. She lied when she said that I want to cut Social Security and Medicare. No, she wants to cut it because she wants to have the illegal immigrants coming into our country to go on Social Security and Medicare, which will destroy Social Security. It's Kamala Harris who cast a tie-breaking vote to cut Medicare by $266 billion. She cut your Medicare, remember this, by $266 billion, and then promised mass amnesty last night to 20 million illegal aliens and make them American citizens, which will absolutely obliterate your Social Security and your Medicare, ultimately leaving those programs bankrupt and our seniors desperate and poor. And remember, when you talk about all of those hundreds of billions of dollars, you know what she's putting that money into? The Green New Scam. She took it out of your Medicare. She's putting it into one of the greatest ever, one of the great voices of sport. Stand up. Let's see if anybody knows who that you are. Good job. You're a good man. He's done a good job. But she took it out and she wants to put it into, she put it into the Green New Scam. She said the border was safe under her direction. You know, they're the party of disinformation and misinformation. They'll say something 100 times. The border was safe. Did you see last night? The border's safe. The first time she said that was about 2 months ago, and she went like this. The border was, She started joking. Horrible. They are the misinformation, they lie. They keep saying the same untruth over and over again. And you know, you're not like in my business, you're not in this political business like these people. You're in other things. You're lawyers, and you're carpenters, and you're electricians, and you're drivers, and you're doing a lot of things. By the way, no tax on tips, remember that? No tax. She tried that one, and yet in Congress right now they have bills to destroy people to dump. Do you see what's going on? It'll never happen with her. It's guaranteed to happen with me. No tax on tips. But actually, it's the most dangerous and unsafe border anywhere in the world. There's never been a border like it. No country ever. If a country had a border like that, they would fight with sticks and stones if they had to keep the people out. She believes that if you say things enough over and over again, even if they're stone-cold lies, like Project 25, he believes in, I don't even know what the hell it is. I know it's a group of people that got together and they're slightly on the conservative side. And it's unbelievable what they do. It's really unbelievable. She would destroy our country. If she was ever elected, our country will go down the tubes. We'll be in a depression like 1929. We will not have a country any longer. Yesterday, I was at the border with the victims of Kamala's migrant crime wave. One of them is here with us tonight. Michael Morin is the brother of Rachel Morin, who you know about. Rachel was a cherished 37-year-old mom of 5 absolutely incredible children, beautiful woman. Last summer, Rachel was out on a run when she was brutally raped and murdered by an illegal alien who was led into America by Kamala Harris. Let her in. Said, let her in. The animal who committed this heinous crime first killed another woman in El Salvador before walking across the open border. Just walked right in, no problem. He then attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother in a home invasion in Los Angeles before murdering Rachel in cold blood. Michael, I promise you, in Rachel's memory, we will stop this invasion and we will keep these savage criminals to hell. Say hello to your parents. So hard. We are so sorry, Michael. Thank you for being here. According to her own administration statistics on crime victims, Kamala Harris has presided over a 43% increase in violent crime. These are government numbers, by the way. Including 58% increase in rape, 89% increase in aggravated assault, and 56% increase in robbery. During the riots of 2020, she encouraged her followers to donate to bail criminals, looters, and arsonists and killers. People died, including Sean Michael Tillman, a dangerous repeat offender who went on to shoot and kill a Minnesota man 6 times in the head. He shot him 6 times in the head and torso. And Kamala, let him out, let him go. While Kamala Harris was DA of Sanctuary City, San Francisco, 20 years ago, maybe the greatest city in the world. Today it's unlivable. She ignored the pleas of victims' family. Please, please, let us do, please don't do this to us. And refused to seek the death penalty against an illegal alien MS-13 gang member, one of the worst murderers they've seen in years, who murdered an innocent man and his 2 sons and didn't even remember he did it. As California Attorney General, she redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person as a non-violent crime. Comrade Kamala Harris destroyed single-handedly, with some help from the worst governor in our nation, Gavin Newsom, both San Francisco and California itself. He's a terrible governor. What a governor. For years, but you know, she might have picked a worse one. You look at the numbers in Minnesota, we hope we're going to win Minnesota. You know, it hasn't been won since 1972, Richard Nixon. But we're doing well there too, but the governor is horrible. You know what he did? He approved a bill to give tampons in every young man's bathroom. Right? Think of that. This is what we have. This is our vice president, our potential president. Tampons in boys' bathrooms. For years, Kamala Harris has pushed legislation to strip police officers of protection, trying to bankrupt them and ruin their lives for doing their jobs. No protection, no immunity, no nothing. She even endorsed defund the police. I will never defund the police. I will only fund the police and fund them with I will always back our law enforcement heroes in blue. We are pleased to be joined tonight by the president of the Arizona Police Association, Justin Harris. Oh no, he's not a relation. Justin, are you a relation? Last name is Harris, spelled the same. I'm very concerned about this. I'm not. But Justin Harris is a great gentleman who has a special announcement. Justin, would you please come up? Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm a little concerned about that illegal immigration chart you put up there. Was that the spike in immigration or the inflation? Wonderful job those Democrats are doing. My name is Justin Harris. I'm a veteran police sergeant here in Arizona with 25 years of experience in service.
And I also have the privilege and the honor to serve as the state president of the Arizona Police Officers Association. The Arizona Police Officers Association is the largest law enforcement association in the state of Arizona, and we represent over 12,000 law enforcement professionals, the men and women that currently serve in our communities each and every day, at the local, county, state, and federal law enforcement levels. We cover the entire state. And on behalf of the Arizona Police Association, we are proud to welcome President Trump to the great state of Arizona. And to the wonderful city of Glendale, home of Luke Air Force Base. Folks, these men and women in Luke fly those beautiful F-16 Fighting Falcons of the 309th Fighter Squadron and those beautiful, beautiful F-35 Lightnings. Nothing like hearing those jets flying overhead, which that's the sound of freedom and American ingenuity. Also a special thank you to the Glendale Mayor, Jerry Wires, and the entire City Council for their unwavering support and advocacy for our police officers, active duty military, and our veterans. You're not going to find stronger advocates for our military, our veterans, and our police officers anywhere in the world other than Glendale. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Also, I wanted to give a special thanks to the men and women of the Glendale Police Department, the best and most professional police department in the country. Thank you. Special thanks to Police Chief Chris Briggs and the other 8 West Valley Coalition departments that allowed us to use their law enforcement officers here today to keep us all safe. Thank you, gentlemen and women. Law enforcement today is perhaps the most complex occupation on earth. It's an honorable profession of service and commitment to others, those who step in the gap between good and evil and to protect our communities, and we do so knowing the risk. Officers are required to make split-second decisions under the most uncontrolled, chaotic, and stressful situations, often at great risk to their own personal safety. Given the literally millions of contacts between officers and the communities annually, with a few exceptions, officers make those decisions correctly as trained and in accordance with the law. But high profile does not mean high frequency. Currently, in this day and age of instant information, social media, and videos, there is an unrealistic expectation of absolute perfection. It is not possible to be perfect every time because we hire from the human race. People are not perfect. Good people can make mistakes. However, the constant orchestrated villainization of police officers has eroded the public's trust. It has encouraged an air of obstinance, disrespect, and assaultive attitudes and behavior towards police officers. What was that name we called her? Was that Comrade Kamala? Is that what it was? Kamala, Comrade. Well, what we do know is she supported defunding the police, and the best term is they wanted to reimagine policing. I don't know what that means. She is part of the radicalized movement to degrade public safety and make our communities less safe. In contrast, under President Trump's first term in office, he always had our backs. Thank you. He never rushed to judgment, and he never, ever in a lifetime called to defund the police, ever. But we owe him a debt of gratitude for that. Let's also forget, when President Donald Trump was president, he closed the borders and locked the door. Border Czar Kamala Harris opened the door and let everybody in. Border Czar Kamala Harris is allowing millions of illegal immigrants into this country, turning each and every state into a border state, flooding American streets with drugs and crime. The Democrats haven't quite figured this out yet, but it's not rocket science. But open borders equals more crime. Close the border.
Yes! Close the border!
And my gut tells me that there's a gentleman standing up here on stage today that's going to do exactly that. President Donald Trump has in the past and will again make America great again by tackling lawlessness head on. Ceasing the endless flow of illegal immigrants across our southern border and ensuring the police departments across the country have the funding, the training, and equipment necessary to do our jobs. And he's not going to reimagine us doing that. President Trump will stop the multi-million-dollar illicit trade that occurs each and every day at the border. Thanks to Comrade Kamala, with these open borders, the only group that she's enriched is the Mexican cartels, which have expanded over 160 countries across the world. They've done this by using human beings and human trafficking and treating them like dogs. The flow of illegal drugs in this country is unmatched in history. And they also have illegal vaping devices that are harming our communities and killing our kids, all being imported from China through the cartels. This has to stop. Kamala Harris, as border czar, deliberately obliterated the U.S. border to flood the country with illegals. They canceled the wall. They implemented catch and release and terminated Remain in Mexico and effectively shut down ICE. Pulling those agents off of the front line, putting them in administrative duties to do paperwork and change diapers. Meanwhile, the front door of our country is wide open. President Trump will stop this. I've got a serious question. Has the border czar, Kamala, even toured the southern border? Didn't think so. Has President Donald Trump toured the border? Yes, he has. And I heard the cartels went running. On average, there's over 5,000 illegal immigrants who are being released into the country every day. Our country. We don't know who they are, don't know where they came from, we can't even account for them. For 38 straight months, the monthly border encounters have been higher than even the highest month seen under the Trump administration. You can't tell me this isn't being done deliberately, because it is. In 2023 alone, more than 900,000 illegal immigrants were released into the interior of the U.S., unaccounted for, waiting for court dates, and nobody knows where they're at. That's the entire city of Mesa flowing into our countries. That's the only ones we know about. Illegal drugs are flowing into this country at an alarming rate, with only 5 to 7 intercepted at the border. Got it. Folks, let me finish up here, please. This country, our family, our communities, and everything that each of us holds dear and near to our hearts cannot endure another 4 years of a clueless president that cares more about the color of her curtains than the safety and prosperity of our great country and its people. It is clear who supports law enforcement, law and order, and that's President Trump. His unwavering shown commitment to the rule of law of men and women, placing lives on the line every day. So if you support national security and want to secure our borders, vote Trump. If you support law enforcement and safe communities, vote Trump. If you support getting our country back on track and making America great again, vote Donald J. Trump for president. And this is why the Arizona Police Association and our 12,000 members, family, and friends are proud to extend our endorsement to Donald J. Trump for president of the United States of America. Thank you, God bless.
Thank you very much. It's a great endorsement. It means a lot. So just in closing, I want to say that from the moment we take back the White House and Kamala Harris and crooked Joe Biden, crooked is a $4 bill. We used to say $3 bill, now we say $4 bill. I believe we're going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Day one, I will seal the border and stop the migrant invasion of our country. We will carry out the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than President Dwight D. Eisenhower in the 1950s, who was a big believer in borders. We will defeat inflation and we will make America affordable again. You're going to have America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. It won't even be close. Remember, as I always say, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country in the world, including Saudi Arabia, including Russia, and we will use it to reduce taxes and energy costs for our people. We will reduce your energy bills in 1 year by more than 50%. That's here. That includes heating, air conditioning, electricity, and gasoline for your car. I will turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower more than it has ever been, ever before. We will bring back jobs to America. We will no longer allow foreign countries to take our jobs and to steal our wealth. We will make our own products and we will buy far less from foreign countries than we are buying right now. We're going to make it here. Other countries that make us pay a tax to do business with them will be charged the same tax when they send their product into the United States. It'll be called the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. And if China or any other country charges us a 100% tax or tariff, then we will charge them a reciprocal tariff of 100 or 200%. In the words of the President William McKinley, the protective tariff policy of the Republicans has made the lives of our countrymen sweeter, brighter, and it's the best our citizenship and our civilization can ever have. Better destiny for our people. We ought to take care of our own nation, and we have to take care of our industries first. We have to take care of our country first. It's about time, and it's going to happen starting on January 20th. I will not let Mexico, China, or any other country sell cars into the United States to the detriment of our auto workers all over our country, including in Michigan and South Carolina. United Auto Workers, you're going to vote for Trump because I'm going to bring you back more auto production than you've ever seen in this country before. I will end the ridiculous electric vehicle mandate, cut every job-killing regulation of the Harris-Biden administration, and make our auto manufacturing business bigger, better, and stronger than it has ever been. When we relied on Kamala, there
would be no auto industry. Within 3 years, you'll never make another car. When I'm back in the White House, we will pass large tax cuts for our workers, and there will be, as I said, no tax on tips. A bartender, hospitality worker, caddy, barber, mover, driver, or anyone else who relies on tip income, your tips will be 100% yours to keep. You will no longer be harassed by your government. And I will fight for and protect your Social Security and your Medicare with no cuts and no changes in age. We're not going to move it up. They want to move it up 5 years. We're not doing it. Darling, when do we get our Social Security? Well, they just moved it up 5 years. It's not going to happen with me. It's going to happen with them. They're going to destroy your Social Security. Tax on Social Security benefits for seniors. They destroyed our seniors and everyone else with their horrible inflation. And then they give you small dollars with Social Security and they want you to pay tax. I don't know. We don't need it. We can do it. We have so much else, including that liquid gold. Oh, we're going to go hunting for liquid gold. We will cut wasteful and unnecessary spending, and we will terminate the Green New Scam and spend that money on roads, bridges, real infrastructure, and paying down debt. No fake infrastructure that has caused massive inflation with no benefit whatsoever to our population. I will settle the war in Ukraine, and I will end the chaos in the Middle East, and I will... I will have that war ended before I go to the White House on January 20th. I will have the war in Ukraine ended as president-elect. American people, including myself, by the way, against the political opponents. Can you imagine? But you just saw we won the big case down in Florida. Everyone said, oh, they weaponized it. They got their Justice Department to go after their political opponent, but they're not doing well. I'm the only one that ever happened to where my numbers went up. What do you think about that, Mr. Congressman? I don't think it's ever happened. They go after me and my numbers go up. Somebody's got to explain it. We will rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful once again. And we will keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency, because right now it is under siege. And this is how we will end the era of inflation, mayhem, and misery, and the Kamala and Crooked Joe, and unleash safety, prosperity, peace for Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed. Together we will deliver low taxes, low regulations, low energy costs, low interest costs, low inflation. And that's for everyone. We're talking about everyone. We want to make sure everyone can afford groceries, a car, and a home.
Thank you! We love you, man! We love you!
Woo! Migrant crime, support our great police, strengthen our military, build a missile defense shield around our country, keep critical race theory and transgender insanity out of our schools, and we will keep men out of women's sports. We will defend the Second Amendment, and we're going to restore. Those people don't allow it. The fake news doesn't allow it. We will restore free speech in the country, and we will secure our elections, Mr. Congressman. Everything will prosper. Every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with joy and opportunity and hope. But for that to happen, we must defeat Kamala Harris, a new name. We must stop her country-destroying liberal agenda once and for all. We have to put an end to it. So get your friends, get your family, register, volunteer, and get out to vote. We want a landslide that is too big, too big, too big, too big. On November 5th, we will save our country, we will save our economy, we will rescue our middle class, we will reclaim our sovereignty and restore our borders, we will put America first, and we will take back our country, and together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America free again. We will make America great again.
quý vị, cho thành ra nó bị đứng hình nè. Quay cạnh cho quý vị thấy nè, đó buổi rao ly về đó, đây là cấp đường của mọi người ra về. Đó, phone bây giờ bị đứng nữa rồi, sóng quá yếu quá tệ.
Alo, đây nè.
Đây. Yeah. Okay. Quá tệ.
Drop, baby.
Đó, quý vị, bây giờ có sóng lại chút xíu rồi quý vị nha. Đây là hầu của rally đây quý vị, đi về rồi. Thì trên đường về là mọi người thấy rồi đó. Oh my god, cái buổi rally quá tuyệt vời. Nói chuyện mà từ bắt đầu từ lúc khoảng 1 giờ rưỡi cho tới 6 giờ chiều là quý vị thấy nói chuyện gần 5 tiếng đồng hồ. Tất cả các congress và senator. Thank you ma'am. Yeah. Trump. Tuyệt vời lắm quý vị. Và cái sự kết hợp của Robert Kennedy, cái ông mà cũng tranh cho cái chức vụ tổng thống, ông lưỡng đảng đó quý vị, thì bây giờ cũng đã về đầu quân cho tổng thống Trump, và ông hứa hẹn là sẽ tất cả các kiểu mà cử tri của ông á sẽ dùng phiếu cho tổng thống Trump. Đó là một cái mà quá tuyệt vời quý vị. Wow, quý vị thấy không? Mọi người đi không? Đúng như vậy đó. Quá tuyệt vời đi. Quá tuyệt vời luôn đấy. Gì đó, sau buổi rao liền nè, về mọi người. Mọi người đã hết chân chưa? Quá đã. Hôm nay nói chuyện quá đã luôn. Trời ơi. Hôm nay là tổng thống tuyệt vời. Đây là mấy anh chị ở Cali qua nè. Quá tuyệt vời luôn. Ngầu nha. Ngầu. Hôm nay anh lại tài xế mới ghê.
Quay phim, quay cảnh, mấy ông quay tính sao?
Ở đây là chợ cho con gái của tổng thống Trump đi ăn.
Bớt đồ.
Wow, bầu trời đẹp quá. Bầu trời rất là
Bớt đồ. Cảnh hoàng hôn của Arizona đó mọi người. Phía bên đây á, là họ đang làm cái freeway để mà mới đây á, về cái biên giới của India. Còn anh quay đâu vậy?
cái desert nè, đây mình hồi nãy đó, cái chỗ này mình rao đi đó. Đó desert đây mình đó, casino. Yes, nó là liên quan cái này luôn đó chị. Nó đó, cái góc đó đó. Đó, cái góc đường đó mình vô đó. Nó gì cái đó đó. Mà nó bọc ra bên này, mình đứng đi vòng qua bên này luôn đó. Đó, thấy không? Tôi bọc đứng qua bên này luôn. Bây giờ tới trước.
Chặt đến 2 độ.
Xong là 2 độ.
Nói đi, khúc này là cực kỳ. Để làm cái đường này người ta dẹp bao nhiêu căn nhà?
Đâu có biết đâu đọc đi lịch đâu.
500 mấy căn nhà.
Còn 500 mấy là 500 mấy. Ok, và
để mà giải tỏa chi mình một bên cái phía bên cái biên giới bên tay phải của quý vị là India, mà đất nó trống, nhưng mà mình làm cái cầu nó không cho, buộc lòng mình phải phá cái con đường này, mà con đường này hồi xưa là một dãy nhà của người dân. Vì vậy để mà làm cái freeway này là bỏ hết 500 mấy căn nhà và đền bù để xây dựng cái đường freeway này cho nó nhanh để đi vào trong downtown của Phoenix, kết nối vào. Và đây là tuyến đường nối vào với đường 10 luôn.
cái đường 10 là quý vị sẽ đi
bên
giống
đây,
như
tay trái của mình là núi nha quý vị, còn bên tay phải là biên giới của India.
mùa nắng cái này nắng sa mạc nó vô cho nóng dã man. Quý vị ở đây đặc biệt tắm quý vị không cần xài bình nước nóng. Trời ơi, tối hôm qua về 2 giờ sáng mà em mở nước ra mà tắm là em cái tưởng đó là nước sôi không mà chứ không. Mà mình mở nước lạnh ra nha, mình cái tưởng đó là ủa mình mở lộn hướng hay sao vậy trời. Ai vậy là đúng rồi đó, nhưng mà cái nước nóng trong ngày nó ngâm cái không biết nó chôn cái ống nước bao xa bao sâu nha, nhưng mà nó nóng đến nỗi mà vô ống nước luôn, thành ra nước thành nước nóng luôn chứ không còn nước lạnh nữa. Ủa nhưng mà cái nước tiêu dùng ở đây nó dùng bằng nước gì anh? Nước khoan hả? Tại vì sa mạc đây đâu có nước đâu. Vậy là nước đây mắc không?
Em nghĩ hình như nước đây rẻ hơn. Tại vì nước em anh ở đây nó là nước ở đây rẻ hơn là mà ở Cali.
Really?
Dạ, nó ở Cali mua qua đây mà.
Nhưng mà cái Cali là có biển mà tại sao lại thiếu nước ta?
Cali không ở biển nhưng mà nước đó là nó mua từ cái Glendale ở Binhvo đem về.
Có thể chơi không? Nó nói thôi.
Bây giờ đi là đẹp lắm quý vị. Cảnh trời đẹp lắm, bao la luôn. Tuyệt vời.
Hoàng hôn quý vị. Nãy tụi em dậy lúc 5 giờ 15 phút sáng. Tụi em về tới đó là 2 giờ, tụi em vô trong và nghỉ ngơi là 2 giờ rưỡi. Ra rồi đó là 5 giờ mấy. Cái 2 giờ rưỡi thôi.
Một trời nó cao ghê nha. Đẹp. Rêu. Giờ mới vô trung tâm của cái thao này, giờ hồi nãy đừng vắng.
Cái thao này là cái thao có cái chợ Việt Nam rồi nha quý vị.
Vừa rồi mới đi qua cái tiệm bên này, cái góc đường bên này có cái nail supply luôn nè. Ủa sao vậy? Lộn hả?
.1
Lộn. Lên tí nữa đó.
Chắc trên kia rồi.
Bên trái luôn nè. Mình đang đi tới một cái nhà hàng đồng quê đó. Đồng quê để mình ăn cơm Việt Nam. Còn mà không có cơm Việt Nam là tôi bắt mấy ông đi qua chợ Việt Nam luôn rồi.
Tới đồng quê là phải chờ nha. Tôi đi xuống đi ra ruộng đi ra ruộng không, ta đi ra ruộng sẽ xuống ruộng, ta bắt con cá ngô, ta bỏ con gỗ nó kêu cột con cá ngô không kêu là ta kêu cột luôn.
Nhau thành mấy trăm tuổi rồi mình nói chuyện với nhiều trẻ trâu nữa đó. Hình như bữa ông Lực Thiên không nói được, có mấy ông ấy chứ không phải ông.
Ồ dạ. Cái Arizona này tính ra đất nó lớn chứ bộ. Rộng lớn với lại cái này chị biết không, nó rất là phức tạp nha. Nếu mà cái thành phố này á, tại vì nó nằm ngay biên giới đó, là cái sự mà nó thì cái sự an ninh của nó là phải nói là phải giỏi á.
Quê kìa.
Cảnh sát với đồ là ở đây là phải nói thiệt, làm ăn là phải siêng và giỏi mới được, chứ không đơn giản chẳng không.
Được không?
Nè con đó.
Đông nè.
Đông quê. Rồi tới Đông quê đây nha quý vị ơi. Cô ăn tắt đèn đấy ngu.
Ăn cá rô từ sột.
Đó quý vị. Đây là nhà hàng Đồng quê nè quý vị.
Ở đây tiểu bang này sòng bài quá chừng. Sòng bài bên đó.
Giờ sao mặt có sòng bài. Sao mặt có sòng bài nữa.
Sòng bài đó với thêm cái outlet mall ở ngay chỗ đây nữa. Bên đó là đất của Indian đó.
Ủa đất Indian mà sao nó cho outlet mall?
Thì nó nằm ở phía ngoài này xíu thì nó thuê của tụi Indian.
Ồ.
Ở ngoài đó là freeway 10 á, đi Texas là đi hướng đó đó.
Vậy mà nó không có một cái border để phân biệt đất đó. Nhưng mà nó tính ra được đó là
Nó có nó biết chứ.
Một đứa thì cái tụi kia nó
không
một bên nó chui qua được đó sao? Tụi nó làm gì không?
Cái tụi mà vượt biên lậu à. Nó qua ở với Indian chắc mấy nó ở.
không phải nó đi con đường từ đi anh.
Không, từ đây ra tới biên giới 2 tiếng đồng hồ là.
Còn kỳ mà Hilton đó mới là 6 tiếng. Còn ở đây là chỉ có 2 tiếng thôi. Một hôm Hilton đó tụi em đi mấy người đó, được Hilton là tụi em đi về trong ngày mà. Mà đi ra 6 tiếng về 6 tiếng đến nghỉ quay rồi ở đó thêm mấy tiếng nữa. Kỳ đó là mình cũng mướn xe mình đi, thành ra mình chạy mà kỳ đó như mướn cái xe nhỏ em mà, xe nó đưa chiếc xe nhỏ nữa chứ. Thế nếu mà chiếc xe SUV mình chạy thì nó
không biết hình đi sa mạc đâu anh, nó không biết hình đi
bữa đó có quay livestream của hai đứa là lúc
đi lạc luôn đó.
Nhớ gặp nguyên cái chàng mà nó chở người qua không, tụi em chạy theo mà cuối cùng tụi em bị mất dấu luôn. Ôi,
lúc đó thấy vừa quay livestream hai đứa mà vừa
2-3 giờ sáng, 2-3 giờ sáng
không biết đường luôn á.
Không biết đường,
đó coi như là
tại vì trên đó là không có định vị được luôn.
Đúng rồi.
phá sống mình anh. Cái cuối cùng em với mình phải lủi theo cái đường đèn. Đường đèn của xe bus đó mà chạy nó chạy ngoài kia, còn em với mình chạy trong này mà chạy còn cũng không thấy người nữa. Cái là
ra được.
Anh nhớ không, lủi vô trong một cái góc đó là góc ruộng vậy đó.
Đường đá đi ổ gạo vịt mình đi đâu.
Mà em của một đứa em trong lai dắt mình luôn đã là tiền vàng luôn đó. Coi như là hỏi em á là bây giờ
dành đi rồi mình đâu được đi.
Đó
đúng không? Ồ đây là cái đường nước này hả?
Cái giống như cái canal thôi,
đúng
cái mương này đó.
Nó không, nhưng mà cái giống cái kênh chứ.
Cái kênh đó.
Cái kênh nước mà nó
kênh nước đó.
Nó thải vô đâu giống như
nó không, nó chạy vòng vòng của cái thành phố
này luôn vậy.
Là cái đó nó cũng làm khu đao bớt cái nhiệt độ đó.
Có kênh đào đó, giống như kênh này
kênh
đào
đào
nước đó. Kênh đó là nói chung là nó phối âm lại cái bài nhạc sôi động hơn hay nhạc, tại vì một bài có thể anh phối ra được mấy loại nhạc mà đâu phải đâu.
Đúng rồi.
Arizona là quý vị thấy nhìn Arizona là quý vị biết liền là còn đồ trọc không?
Núi đá,
nhìn núi đá không? Cắm cơ trên.
Nó đang sửa đường này.
Nó lấy đứt xuống đá xuống nó lòi nó còn cắm cơ trên chứ nữa. Cái đó leo lên nó cũng ok nha. Nhà ở trên rồi nhưng leo lên chứ nữa.
Ở trên đó nó có cái nhà hàng.
Đó chứ. Phá núi rồi đó. Lấy núi thì phá ra rồi làm biết bao nhiêu.
Nếu mà không có đóng đường là mình đi vô ngã này nè, lại nhanh.
Rồi đi vòng lại luôn hả?
Không, rồi bây giờ phải đi lên hơi cái lỗ xíu rồi mới
đi ngược lại. Đó, xuống mấy trong này đó.
Đó, đi hướng đó đó, nhưng mà bây giờ nó đóng, nó sửa nè. Mình phải đi lên trên kia xíu rồi mình mới bằng đó, chứ chỉ đi thua thôi. Nhưng mà cũng lên xíu thôi. Nó sửa cả mấy năm nay rồi chứ. Mà anh chị hai nói Arizona này còn đỡ hơn Cali. Hắn còn làm đường cho mở thêm rồi cho chạy, chứ còn Cali hắn cứ bôi không à, để lấy tiền bỏ túi không. Nghĩ rằng là một ngày ngày nào đó mày nằm trên bàn mổ, cái ông bác sĩ mổ đó là cái ông mà tốt nghiệp từ cái trường kêu là diversity không, là hắn học không có giỏi nhưng mà hắn vì nhờ có cái ưu tiên.
Đúng rồi.
Ưu tiên da màu của hắn, hay là giống như anh nói chuyện với cái ông mẹ, mấy ông mẹ với cái ông El Salvador ở trên hãng cũng vậy. Anh nói ông cứ nghĩ để 4 năm về trước á, $100 ông mua được 10 cái burrito, mà bây giờ 4 năm sau này ông mua $100 ông mua được có 6 cái burrito. Rồi bảo hiểm, ông rên bảo hiểm mắc quá. Thì giờ ông bầu cho ai, để kéo cái bảo hiểm
cái
xuống.
lý do gì mà bảo hiểm nó lại lên cao như vậy em không hiểu. Thắc mắc
thì tại vì mọi thứ đều lên hết.
Mọi thứ nó lên nhưng mà chiếc xe cổ nó chênh lệch cái giá cả có cũng đâu nhiều đâu mà nó lên trong lúc, nếu mà chiếc xe chênh lệch anh giả thử nó gấp 3 gấp 4 lần đi thì mình nói thì bảo hiểm nó lên gấp 3 gấp 4 lần chứ. Đây chiếc xe nó chênh lệch nhau có mấy chục ngàn nữa ít thôi mà bảo hiểm nó lại lên gấp 3 gấp 4 lần như vậy đâu được.
Nó nhiều khi nó lợi dụng thời cơ của ông ở bên Mỹ này nè, họ mới thấy rõ được cái chính sách mà lo cho dân, lo cho dân với lo cho quốc gia, thấy không?
Sân bay nằm trong một cái góc núi.
Mà ông nói vừa rồi á, Don Junior á có qua bên El Salvador, rồi thằng Mark Gay cũng có qua. Ông nói bây giờ đã mấy nhân viên của thượng nghị sĩ của đảng Cộng hòa Ted Cruz hình như cũng có. Ông phi trường gần nhà đó tiện á, là ví dụ cứ tới là chạy ra pick up này.
Cái này chưa có American Airlines.
Terminal 4 á, 4.
Đây 3.
Hay cái cánh máy bay này mẹ mang tiếng mà mẹ đứng khờ, mẹ phải thì giống như mẹ bị nó đốt cờ.
Cái nhà tổng thống nói chuyện nó thấy không, nó đốt cờ luôn vậy mà.
Vậy ở đâu?
Washington đốt cờ
đúng rồi, Washington đó.
Và ông nói đó, bây giờ những kẻ mà đốt cờ hả, tao bắt tao nhốt trong 1 năm.
Bắt
ông nói liền bắt nhốt 1 năm.
Tao không cần biết. Lực của tao ra là dùng tới màu cờ.
Bởi vậy ví dụ như nếu mà Bình Trang á,
nói luôn
mà có cơ hội á là nói với Don Junior hay là nói với cái team Trump á, là cái tình hình mà Việt Nam hôm qua anh nói đó, trước năm 89 á là người ta vượt biên quá, sau khi mà ra cái luật á đâu có dám vượt biên nữa. Anh cũng có kể cái chuyện đó với mấy người mẹ hoặc mấy người.
Em có xuất phát cái điều đó mấy bữa nay trong cái đầu em nhiều lắm.
Là anh nói á, là ok bây giờ mày có người thân đây chuẩn bị đi vượt biên, tại vì nghe nói bên border của Mỹ nó dễ lắm, thấy không?
Hey, good morning, sáng sớm sân bay Arizona. Nhiệt độ cũng hiện tại bây giờ là 105 độ rồi. Thì nói đó, nhiệt độ bên ngoài hiện tại bây giờ là 105 độ rồi đó quý vị. Và xung quanh quý vị không nhìn nhá, bởi vì em nói Arizona chỉ có là những cái đồi núi là núi trọc á, không có gì hết trơn, đất cát nóng hổi vậy đó quý vị. Mà hôm nay tại vì không có thời gian, thế đúng ra có thời gian là mình đi lên cái ngọn núi vừa rồi em đi, nhớ năm ngoái mình đi em Lemon á, Lemon Mountain là lên có tuyết luôn cái gì. Mặc dù ở dưới đây thì nóng vậy đó, nhưng mà lên trên đó có tuyết luôn. Toàn những ngọn núi à, quý vị thấy không có một nhìn không có một sức sống luôn quý vị, nó khô khan mà nó. Đây là núi đá đó. Đây cây 22 được chứ.
Jangan lupa teman-teman.
chuẩn bị cất cánh vào lúc 8 giờ 8:30 chứ. Sân bay Arizona đây, chuẩn bị cất cánh nha. Sân bay là núi.
Disable or destroy the lavatory smoke detectors. Doing so may result in
Goodbye
a
Arizona.
For safety reasons, cigarettes and vape devices may not be
2 ngày
plugged
ở
into any
Arizona này.
power source while on board the airplane. The safety card in your seat
Home,
pocket
sweet home.
explains the safety features of this airplane, including the location and operation of exits and flotation devices. But of course, don't hesitate to ask our crew members questions.
These devices may not be plugged into any power system connected before today's gallon. And we need these covering in the event oxygen mask dropped from the overhead compartment. Remove your face covering before placing oxygen mask over your nose and mouth. For coming to the aisle for our final safety checks, we appreciate you to the Americans who back relax and enjoy your flight.
Bây giờ biết đây không biết sao. Rồi bay kẹt đây nữa. Bay kẹt ngay phi đạo. Ôm đó đi. Mà bay kẹt trời ơi, nhìn như cái thành phố này. Sân bay Phoenix, Arizona nha quý vị. Núi đó, mấy dãy núi này rất rộng. Mấy cái kênh. Một cái sa mạc này, dễ sợ không? Núi đồi đâu, Arizona đây. Cái tóc tới, cái tóc đóng bệnh luôn. Tới đâu lên chớp tổ hấp đây là Orlando rồi mọi người rồi. Orlando nó cộng đồng quá trời luôn. Tha hồ welcome to Orlando. Home sweet home.
Please remain seated with your seat.
We'd like to first welcome you to Orlando, where it's currently 3:34. As a reminder, please stay seated with your seatbelt fastened and keep the aisle clear of all items. Don't forget to check your seatback pocket and surround mirror to ensure you have all your belongings, such as cell phones, tablets, or chargers. You can open the overhead compartment. Please be careful as others may have shifted in flight. good choice in choosing airlines. Whether you're staying in Orlando or Pasadena, we think you should American has to be part of your journey.
Whoa, where is this place looks so much better than Phoenix.
That's good.
Oh, I think they're big, right? That's the double ticket. I see a plane. Two planes. I see a plane taking off, Mom. Whoa, this place looks so much better than Phoenix.
Like this?
Yeah.
Like the swamp?
What? Not like a plane back. The planes are awesome with that. The pilot, right? Yeah, right?
Chị biết mấy cái form mà cắt không á, mấy cái phút á, cái shop á, chị hỏi thầy Tú còn chị làm giùm em mấy cái đi. Chị coi chùa có không? Chị làm giùm em nha. Đợi một tí. Cỡ sau một tí hồi em tới. Còn không còn.
I see waterfalls. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Bye. Thank you. Here, as you see. Bye. Thank you. Home sweet home.
Guys, let me need some space. I'm with Daddy. Go. Hey, Shirley. She's waiting for us. Hey, you guys want to go to a fire show tonight? Oh, There's this. There we go. I miss you. I need to see the whole plane ride. Oh no, it's nice, Daddy. Oh,
Orlando.
It's nice.
Yeah. Orlando, welcome home. Home sweet home. Yes. Hai nhóc thì đã đã luôn. Home sweet home quý vị. Đã về tới nhà rồi. Về tới đây là mừng được. Đi đâu không biết mà về tới nhà là thấy mừng rồi. Orlando. Ok. Đã về đến nhà rồi. Home sweet home. Đây là sân bay Orlando nha quý vị. Home sweet home. Cho bên nội bi. Đây là trung tâm quý vị. Trung tâm tất cả các gì đông brand
Welcome to one of our welcome to this year and just spilled all over the Orlando. Because it's like trying to enjoy your business.
I think so. I kept having to like sit up Oh, I don't know, Becky, you know what
My bag, my
Welcome home. Home, sweet home. Nhìn ngồi lên đôi mát mẻ. Đôi mát mẻ. Bây giờ lên đôi gọc luôn. Thank you mọi người đã watching. Và bên đây ngày hôm nay sẽ bị tất cả đi về đi về trong